Hare Krishna everyone, it's sharp 6 a.m. here seen on my laptop. So I extend a very hearty welcome to each and every one of you for joining on day 15 in this very auspicious Purushottama Masa for Srimad Bhagavatam Katha Utsava. So I see that many devotees have already joined. Puttagauri ji is chanting Hare Krishna mantra here. Hare Krishna to you. Preeti ji, Raseshwari Mataji, Venkatraju sir from Pondicherry, Shri sir or Shri K, I don't know if it's Mataji or Prabhuji. Anju ji, Shyamala Mataji, Viksha, Anita ji, Anuradha ji, Chakrapani sir, Puappa sir, Jailakshmi ji, Gauri Gupta, Ramya ji, Sundari ji, Saraswati Mataji, Padmanabhan sir, Indrani Mataji, Lakshmi Vardarajan sir, Sureka ji, Jyoti ji. So I'm sure many more will keep joining in as we go. So welcome everyone. Really happy to see all of you. So let me switch my screen and we will chant our prayers. The prayer will be displayed on the screen. Kindly join your palms together and please repeat after me. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Mahavadanyaya Namne Gauradvishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadditaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kangi 3 times let us chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, seeking the blessings of the Lord. So looks like there is a slight buffering going on. I'm sure it will get better. So just hang on there. So let us chant 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let's do one more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Give me just a second. Just a second. So let us offer our humble obeisances and express our sincere, heartfelt gratitude to Srila Prabhupada so that we may continue to relish and drink the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam without any issues, hopefully. So let me switch my screen and see who else has joined this morning. Ashwin Prabhu, Radhika Mataji, Tasmai, Saumya ji, Vinaya Ganesh, Nitin ji, VK Bhatt, Kameshwari ji, Shanmuganandan sir, Ranganathan sir, Rasagna Prabhu, Prasanna ji, Payal ji, Maya ji, Lakshmi ji, Tyagarajan sir, Gauri Gupta. Wonderful, wonderful. So many of you have joined. Excellent. Okay, in case there is any buffering, every one of you for day 15 of Srimad Bhagavatam Katha Utsava. Those of you who are still on, can you please message in the chat section and let me know if you're able to see me and hear me? Because I've logged in through my phone also and it seems to be just fine right now. So Suresh ji, welcome to the class. Can a couple of you, 2-3 of you just message and let me know if you're able to hear me and see me, please, so I can continue forward. So I just want that assurance from you. So once you tell me that everything is okay, good. Lakshmi ji is saying yes, Raseshwari Mataji is saying all okay, wonderful. So based on that answer, I'm just going to keep going. Priyanshi is also saying able to see you and hear. Hare Krishna Mataji, Maya ji is saying yes, and few more of you have said yes, 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 yes. So wonderful, let's keep rolling then. So a quick recap of what we have covered until now. We have discussed the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Cantos 1 to 5 we have quote unquote kind of completed, in the sense that we have understood the chapters, how they flow from one to another, and the content of the cantos, the pastimes that have been coming up, and so many wonderful devotee characters. So we are relishing drinking this nectar. And Canto 6, we have almost come to the end of the 19 chapters. We have already covered 17 chapters. We have only 2 more to go, which we will be finishing today. And then the objective is to enter into Canto 5 and see what excellent pastimes are lined up for us today. Ashwinji is saying perfect. So wonderful. VK Bhattji is giving me a thumbs up, saying please carry on. I will. So yesterday we discussed this glorious pastime of wonderful devotee called Vritrasura in the body of a demon. We also understood how come he was chanting such wonderful prayers on the battlefield, and that is because in his previous life he happened to be Maharaja Chitraketu. With the mercy of Narad Muni and Angira Muni, he had obtained the darshan of Lord Sankarshana in just 7 days. And as a result of that, in his next life, he became the head of Vidyadharas, very exalted beings. There is one whole loka called Vidyadhara Loka. And this Chitraketu Maharaj happened to be the head of that Vidyadhara Loka. And then we also saw how he got cursed by Mother Parvati. And as a result of that, in his next life, he takes birth in that of a demon's body, but still his consciousness as a devotee is maintained. At that point we had stopped yesterday, and now moving forward, let's revisit Daksha Prajapati's progeny. Why did this whole pastime of Vritrasura come up anyway? That is because Shukadeva Goswami had narrated to Parikshit Maharaj, saying that, oh Maharaja Parikshit, Daksha Prajapati had 60 daughters, and those 60 daughters were married to different exemplary beings. Like 10 daughters were given in marriage to Yamaraj, 17 daughters were given in marriage to Kashyapa Muni, 27 daughters married Somadeva, 2 daughters married Angira Muni, 2 daughters married Krishashva, and 2 other daughters married Bhuta. So now of the 17 daughters who married Kashyapa, we saw 2 of those daughters were Diti and Aditi. How Diti is the mother of the Daityas, the demons, and Aditi is the mother of Adityas, demigods. And while Shukadeva Goswami was narrating this and said, oh, by the way, one of the sons, one of the demigods born to Daksha Prajapati and mother Aditi was Twashta, and Twashta married Rachana. Rachana was from a demoniac family, and they had 2 sons. One of those 2 sons was Vishwarupa, and he ended up becoming the priest of the demigods. And at that point, Parikshit, being the intelligent listener that he is, he catches that point and asks Shukadeva Goswami, how come? It is Brihaspati, right, who is the priest of the demigods, spiritual master of the demigods. How come Vishwarupa took that position? And in that context, this whole pastime of Vritrasura came about. Now again, Shukadeva Goswami continues to talk about the progeny of Daksha Prajapati. This time around, he talks about another daughter of his called Diti, who is the mother of the Daityas, demons. Now, although she is the mother of demons, Shukadeva Goswami mentions, however, she had 49 sons called the Maruts. And these 49 sons were accepted as demigods by Indra in his loka, in the heavenly planets. Now this is also interesting. Just like Vishwarupa was accepted as the priest of Indradeva, now Parikshit asks another intriguing question. How come? Diti's sons are supposed to be demons. Now, how is it possible for Indra, the lord of the demigods, to accept Diti's sons in his loka as demigods? I am not able to put these two things together. So now the very fag end, the 2 chapters of canto number 6, Shukadeva Goswami explains how once upon a time Diti being aggravated, being aggrieved because every single time Lord Vishnu is taking different forms to come and kill her sons. He came as Lord Varaha in the boar form to kill Hiranyaksha. And later today we will see how the Lord took this never before seen, most wonderful, fantastic form of half man, half lion, Narasimha form to kill her son Hiranyakashipu. So Diti very tactfully, strategically, she starts serving her husband Kashyapa Muni very diligently. So wonderfully she serves Kashyapa Muni that her husband is so pleased with her and says, Diti, my dear wife, I am so pleased with the wonderful service that you are rendering unto me. Please ask for a benediction. Something you should never say to anyone actually, especially who are not devotees. So what did Diti do? She tricked Kashyapa Muni. In spite of serving so nicely, her intentions were not good. She tells Kashyapa Muni, oh my dear husband, as a benediction from you, I would like for a son who would kill Indra. Because she is envious towards Indra, because she is thinking this Lord Vishnu is so partial towards Indra. Every single time for his and other demigods' protection, he is coming in different forms and killing my sons. So she says she wants a son who can kill Indra to take revenge. Kashyapa Muni is really taken aback by this evil benediction that she has asked for, but nevertheless he had already told her to ask for a benediction and this is what he wants. Now it is Kashyapa Muni's turn to trick Diti. And how does he trick her? Kashyapa Muni says, oh Diti, yes, your desire will be fulfilled, but 1 year, for an entire year, before conception, you have to perform what is called as Pumsavana Vrata. He narrates all the details as to how she should go about conducting this Vrata. And he tells her, warns her that you should be very careful in performing this Pumsavana Vrata. For a whole year, Mother Diti is performing intense austerities and performing this Pumsavana Vrata, worshipping the Lord. And meanwhile, Indra, we see that how insecure he is. And now when he gets to know this news that Diti is doing Pumsavana Vrata simply to get a son who can kill him, he also comes and very tactfully he tries to please Diti and says, oh Mother Diti, you are performing this pretty intense Vrata called Pumsavana Vrata. Why don't I assist you? Please allow me. And Diti agrees. So very interesting situation actually. Diti tried to trick Kashyapa Muni and she wants a son who kills Indra. Kashyapa Muni has tricked Diti, telling her you follow Pumsavana Vrata because somehow or other he wanted to purify his wife's heart. And for that bhakti is the best way. So he engaged her in Pumsavana Vrata, and Indra, he also has ill intention because he is thinking in the name of assisting Diti, I will just be around with her and then looking for an opportune moment, I will make sure that I will kill the child in her womb. So that way the child will not take birth and kill me. This is Indra's evil plan. So quite a twist. And then Diti is very nicely performing Pumsavana Vrata. She is very, very determined. Indra is also nicely assisting her. But he is very carefully, meticulously waiting for the time where he could actually accomplish what he wants to, that is kill the child in the womb of Diti. And one fine day, Diti was sleeping at an improper time in an improper place, and just at that moment, Indra enters into the womb of Mother Diti and he cuts her embryo into 7 different pieces. And these 7 pieces of her embryo come out of these 7 pieces of embryo right in the womb. They start crying. And then what does Indra do? He gets so scared that he cuts each of these 7 pieces into 7 more pieces. So finally there are like 49 children. So this is all beyond our conception how all these things happen, but nevertheless they do. And then Mother Diti, when she wakes up from her sleep, she sees there are 49 children crying. And she asks Indra, what did you do? And then Indra is ashamed of the grave sin that he has committed. So he falls at the feet of Mother Diti and apologizes for this offense that he has committed, the sin that he has committed. But nevertheless, he says, because I was assisting you in your vrata, even my heart is changed a little bit. And because of this, he says, I no longer carry any malicious intentions towards you. So he says, I will accept these 49 Maruts as my own brothers. Anyway, the father is the same, right? Kashyapa. So this is how Indra takes these 49 Maruts, the sons of Diti and Kashyapa, to be like as though his own brothers, and he takes them to Indraloka, heavenly planets. And Diti also, by way of performing Pumsavana Vrata, just like Kashyapa Muni had hoped for, even her heart is transformed through this whole thing. So this is the special position, special benediction of performing bhakti, how it purifies one's heart. Just like in Dhruva Maharaja's case, he wanted a planet bigger than that of his great-grandfather Brahma, Brahmaloka. But then, by the time the Lord appeared within his heart and appeared right in front of him, his heart was totally purified. So this is how Canto 6 is coming to a wrap. And let's keep moving forward. Canto 7. But before entering Canto 7, we've been chanting this beautiful shloka from Padma Purana, and meanwhile I see somebody saying, ma'am, lost you. I'm not sure. Just hold on there, because for others it seems to be fine. You may want to check your connection as well. And I am also playing the video in my phone and seems to be working fine for me. So just refresh your screen or re-log in or do what is necessary. So I think it should be fine. In case here and there if you miss a little bit of anything, you're always welcome to go back and watch the recording. Okay? But it seems to be fine for me by Lord's mercy, and seems to be okay for many others as well. Pado yadiyo pratamo dvitiyo tritiya turyo katito yaduru nabhistata panchama eva shashto bhujantaram dor yugalam tatanyo kantastu rajan navamo yadiyo mukaravindam dashamam prafullam Ekadasho yasya lalatapattam shiropitu dvadasha eva bhati tamadidevam karunanidanam tamalavarnam suhitavataram apara samsara samudra setum bhajamehe bhagavata swarupam. So Pado Yadiyo Pratamo Dvitiyo. So the first two cantos are the lotus feet of the Lord. Tritiya Turyo Katito Yaduru. The third and fourth cantos are the thighs of the Lord. Nabistata Panchama Eva Shashto. So Panchama, the fifth canto is the Nabi, the lotus navel of the Lord. And the sixth canto is Bhuja Antaram, the region between the two arms, that is the chest. Now, what are the seventh and eighth cantos representing which limb of the Supreme Lord's body? Doryugalam Tatanyo. So, seventh and eighth canto are the two limbs of the Lord, the two arms of the Lord. So that is the darshan we are going to have, the most glorious arms of the Lord, which protects everyone, gives the Abhaya Hasta, carrying all these wonderful weapons. 750 shlokas, and of these 15 chapters, the first 4 chapters deal with a question asked by Maharaja Parikshit right in the beginning. We will chant that question, that particular shloka, where he asks, is Krishna partial to the demigods? Why does he always seem to take the side of his devotees when he actually says he is equal to everyone? And then chapters 5 to 7 deals with the teachings of Prahlad Maharaj. Chapters 8 to 10, there are prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, and so many other pastimes are going on here with the various chapters coming in between. And then the last 5 chapters, chapters 11 to 15, talk about the Varnashrama system created by the Supreme Lord himself. So we will keep rolling and see how far we get into Canto 7, and wherever we stop, we will continue from there tomorrow's session. So the 10 subject matters discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam was given in Canto 2, chapter number 10, shloka number 1. Atra sargo visargascha sthanam poshanamutayah manvantareshanu nirodho muktirashrayah. So sarga deals with primary creation, visarga is secondary creation, sthanam describes the structure of the universe, all the planetary systems. Poshanam concerns with how the Lord nourishes and maintains and protects his devotees at any cost. So Sarga and Visarga, we have prominently seen them in Cantos 3, 4 and some part of 5 as well. Sthanam we saw in the later part of Canto 5, where we discussed in detail about the universal structure, the horizontal and vertical universal structure. Now Canto 6, the one that we just completed, we talked about the part where the Lord's protection is described, which is Poshanam. How he took care of Ajamila simply by taking the name of Narayana, the moment where he was leaving his body. We also saw how the Lord maintained the divine consciousness of this great devotee Vritrasura in spite of being in a demon's body. So these are all exemplary examples of Poshanam, Lord's protection. So now what is the subject that is going to be discussed in Canto 5? That is Uti. And what is Uti? Uti means inclination. And now major 2 categories of inclinations are, either somebody could have a favorable inclination, a devotional inclination towards the Supreme Lord, or somebody could have an unfavorable inclination towards the Lord, very demoniac in nature. So in this particular canto, that is canto number 7, both these inclinations will come to the forefront in terms of Prahlada having a favorable disposition as the great devotee, and Hiranyakashipu, Prahlada's own father, having a very unfavorable inclination towards the Supreme Lord, wanting to even kill the Supreme Lord and wanting to kill even his own son. So the greatest of the devotee and the greatest of the terrorist, demon, Both happen to be in the same family. Now, how interesting of a setup is that? So let us dive into this pastime and discuss more about this. In what context did Shukadeva Goswami bring out this pastime? All that and more. Let's keep rolling. And Canto 7, Chapter 5, Shloka number 23. It is this very own Prahlad Maharaj who is chanting this beautiful shloka describing the Navavida Bhakti. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. So Shravanam is hearing, the very first starting process of bhakti. Here, just like we are doing right now during this auspicious Purushottama Masa, we are hearing the glories, the pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the Acharya for this Shravanam is Maharaja Parikshit. In 7 days he perfected his life. And then Kirtanam is glorifying the Supreme Lord, and for that the Acharya is Shukadeva Goswami. And for Smaranam, which is remembering the Lord continuously, uninterruptedly, without any material motivation, for that the Acharya is Prahlad Maharaj, the hero of today's pastime. And then Padasevanam, serving the lotus feet, Mother Lakshmi, she is the Acharya. Archanam is deity worship, Prutu Maharaj, whose pastime we have already discussed. Vandanam, paying obeisances, is Akrura, and about Akrura we will see in Canto 10. Dasyam is servitorship, Bhakta Hanuman. How glorious was the kind of service that he used to render to Lord Sri Ramachandra. And then 8th is Sakyam, which is friendship. Arjuna is the Acharya for that. So wonderful was his friendship with Lord Krishna that Lord Krishna accepted to become the charioteer of Arjuna. And then Atmanivedanam, the complete surrenderance unto the Supreme Lord. And for this the Acharya happens to be Bali Maharaj, whose pastime we will see in 8th canto, who also happens to be a descendant of Prahlad Maharaj. So today, Smaranam, remembering the Acharya being Prahlad Maharaj, we will be diving deep into it. So now, having heard all this, Parikshit is placing a very important question in front of Shukadeva Goswami. What is that question? Shri Rajo Vacha. And who is the Raja? Raja Parikshit. Sama Priya Suhrad Brahman Bhutanam Bhagavan Swayam Indrasyarte Katam Daityan Avadid Vishamo Yata. My dear Shukadeva Goswami, I have heard that Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord Krishna, he is Sama Priya Suhrad Brahman Bhutanam. What is he? Sama. I have heard that the Supreme Lord is equal to everybody. He is impartial. Priyaha. He loves everybody. Suhrad. He is the well-wisher of everybody. Brahman Bhutanam. Bhutanam is all living entities. So although this is what I had thought, I have heard, but I think Indrasyarte Katam Daityan. But why does it seem like every time for the sake of Indra? Indrasyarte, for the sake of Indra, for the good of Indra, it seems, it seems like the Lord is having Vishama, hatred, enmity towards Daityan, the demons. So although the Lord is supposed to be equal, although the Lord is supposed to be equally loving and well-wisher of every living entity, how come it seems like that time and again the Lord is actually taking the side of the demigods headed by Indra, and seems like he is hateful, he's having some enmity towards the demons. And usually these kinds of dualities, Day, night, birth, death, happiness, distress, like, dislike, love, hatred. This is all product of the material world, but the Lord is beyond this material gunas. He does not get affected. But how come even this Supreme Lord seems like He is taking sides? And usually we tend to take sides of the people from whom we actually expect something. But here the Supreme Lord, being supremely independent, He doesn't necessarily need anything from anybody. So how come He seems to be taking sides? Is the Lord really partial? So in Bhagavad Gita also, those of you who are attending our Grow Through Gita classes, weekly classes, we have discussed in one of the shlokas where Krishna is saying, Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Sama. He says, I am the well-wishing friend of everyone. He doesn't say, I am the well-wishing friend of only Indra and devotees and not the Daityas. He says, I am the Suhrad of everyone. I am equal to everyone. Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu. But Krishna puts a clause and says, but those who render loving devotional service unto me, to my devotees, I take special care. So this is the impartial partiality of the Lord. Impartial in the sense that the bhakti is open for everybody. Anybody can perform. But those who choose to take up bhakti, those who use their free will to express love and devotion to the Lord says, I am giving them some special care and attention, which is natural actually, but that's not partial. Just like in a classroom, there can be so many students listening to the same lecture. The teacher is impartial in the sense that he or she is teaching the same curriculum, same syllabus to everybody. But there may be a handful of students who are especially very, very sincere and diligent. They may be going to the teacher after the class and inquiring with them and making very nice notes, studying very well right from the beginning, very obedient. So it's natural that the teacher is going to have a little bit more reciprocation towards these students. But that does not mean that the teacher is partial. So this is the question, is Krishna partial? Is the Supreme Lord partial? So in answer to this, in shlokas 4 to 5, canto 1, Shukadeva Goswami is speaking, Shri Rishir Uvacha Sadhu Prashtam Maharaja Haresh Charitam Adbhutam Yad Bhagavata Mahatmyam Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam Giyate paramam punyam rishibir naradadidibi natva krishnaya munaye katayishye hare katam. So who's the Rishi? Shukadeva Goswami. He is congratulating, appreciating the question posed by Maharaja Parikshit. Sadhu Prashtam Maharaja. O Emperor Parikshit, what a question you have asked. Why? He says, Haresh Charitam Adbhutam. Because you have asked this question, you have presented me with an opportunity where I can glorify Hari Charita. The pastime, the glories of Hari. Adbhutam. He is saying, wonderful pastime is coming up. Because you asked this question. Yet Bhagavata Mahatmyam, along with Hari's Charitam, we are also going to hear about the greatness of a great Mahabhagavata like Prahlad Maharaj. Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam. What will happen if we listen to Hari Charita and about Mahabhagavatas? Our own bhakti will increase. Bhagavad Bhakti Vardhanam. If we want to become wonderful devotees, if we want to have great Vaishnava qualities, we should hear about devotees who are great. We should walk in the footsteps. We should imitate. We should follow their instructions and teachings, and we should meditate upon their gem-like qualities. Upon doing so, then we will also get those qualities. And Shukadeva Goswami is saying, in fact, this is so adbhutam. Giyate paramam punyam rishibir naradadibihi. Even great rishis like Naradas, even they relish this nectar. this Harikatha. So Shukadeva Goswami has appreciated, complimented Raja Parikshit, saying that what a wonderful question you have asked, because I can now describe this most glorious pastime. And he says, oh Maharaja Parikshit, the same question that you are asking in front of me was asked by Maharaja Yudhishthira to Narada Muni in the assembly of Rajasuya Yajna. So my dear devotees, come with me. To that, envision a scene in your mind where the Rajasuya Yajna is happening. Such a wonderful Indraprastha has been created by the help of Sri Krishna, by the Pandavas. In fact, this Rajasuya Yajna was so glorious that even when Indra was entering, all the universal celebrities were present in that Rajasuya Yajna. Great rishis from all the Trilokas were present there. Indra, as he was entering into Indraprastha, he said, my goodness, these Pandavas are so fortunate that by the mercy of Supreme Lord Krishna, they have created a city which seems to be better than Amaravati, the capital of Indraloka. And somebody corrects Indra and says, oh Indra, this is not the entire city of Indraprastha. This is simply a tent created temporarily for the sake of Rajasuya Yajna. And Indra's jaws dropped and eyes widened, thinking that if a tent in Indraprastha could be this glorious, then what about the whole city Indraprastha created by Pandavas? And in this glorious city of Indraprastha, Maharaja Yudhishthir, with the assistance of his brothers, has accumulated a lot of wealth, and he is performing this Rajasuya Yajna. That means all the kings come together and give the title that now on Maharaja Yudhishthira is going to be the emperor. And usually when such yajnas happen, especially Rajasuya Yajna, of all the people who are present, one of them will be unanimously chosen to become the recipient of Agra Puja. So immediately, without any doubt, almost all of them said it is only Lord Krishna who is the deserving candidate for this Agra Puja. But upon hearing this, Bhishma agreed, Drona agreed, all the kings agreed. But Shishupala, who seemed to be envious of Krishna right from his birth, he would criticize and blaspheme Krishna right from his childhood. And especially now when he heard that Krishna is getting Agra Puja in this most glorious Rajasuya Yajna, Shishupala starts standing up and he simply cannot contain, and he just starts blaspheming Krishna. Bhishma gets up, he wants to chastise Shishupala. Bhima says, oh Shishupala, if you don't close your mouth and sit down, I'm going to cut off your tongue. Krishna says, Bhima, please be a little patient. I will take care of this situation. Krishna had given a benediction. Actually, it was known right in the beginning that Krishna would be the cause of death for Shishupala. And Krishna was just keeping count because he had promised his aunt that he will tolerate up until 100 criticisms hurled by Shishupala at him. And beyond that, Krishna is not going to show any mercy to Shishupala. He was going to kill him. So Krishna was counting 1, 2, 3, up to 99 and then 100. And at that point, Krishna had invoked his Sudarshana Chakra. And the Sudarshana Chakra cut off the throat of Shishupala, and in such a way that the head, not even a single drop of blood, tainted the floor in Rajasuya Yajna. Because if that happened, then the whole Rajasuya Yajna would become futile. So Krishna very tactfully kills him in such a way that not a single drop of blood falls. But at this point, everybody, including Yudhishthira Maharaj in that Rajasuya Yajna, noticed something wonderful, and that was the soul of Shishupala attained Sayujya Mukti. It became one in Krishna's body. Actually, Sayujya Mukti is not something so great that everybody aspires for it. There are 5 types of Mukti, and this is the least type 1, the 5th type 1. But Shishupala got that Mukti. Although it's not the greatest, but it's still quite something to get Sayujya Mukti. Now Yudhishthir Maharaj is flabbergasted at this, and he is asking, "Oh Narada Muni, I'm not able to understand. How come somebody as abominable, as degraded as Shishupala, who was actually criticizing Lord Krishna for the sin of criticizing the Supreme Lord, he should be burning in some hell. His tongue should have been cut off. He should have been punished in the gravest possible way. But how come here we saw that his soul attained Sayujya Mukti? How is this possible? Is there anywhere written that by criticizing the Lord that one can attain Mukti? I am not aware of such Shastra. And if that is the case, then how come another evil king like Vena, even he used to criticize the Lord, but he did not get Sayujya Mukti? So how come Shishupal got Sayujya Mukti by criticizing the Lord and Vena did not? I am not able to understand all these things. So Narad Muni, could you please elaborate? And this whole conversation between Yudhishthira Maharaj and Narada Muni is the conversation that is going to be discussed in the entire Canto 7. I told you, right, there are so many loops of conversations. At the topmost rung, Suta Goswami and Shaunakadi Rishis are conversing, and next level, Shukadeva Goswami and Maharaja Parikshit are conversing, and now another level, this is the conversation between Narad Muni and Yudhishthir Maharaj happening in Rajasuya Yajna, and now Narad Muni is going to take us to another level as he describes the glories of Prahlada's most wonderful pastime. So there are so many levels. So upon hearing this question of Yudhishthira Maharaj, Narad Muni goes on to explain so many things, but because of lack of time, I will not go into the details of all that, especially in answer to Shishupala and Vena. So we can discuss all that, maybe Krishna willing, at some other point when we go more in detail. But in this context, Narada Muni, usually what we see is the disciple is glorifying the spiritual master. That's the etiquette. But here, interestingly, Narada Muni is glorifying his disciple. The spiritual master is praising his disciple, saying that, "Oh Maharaja Yudhishthir, listen to me now. I am going to talk about this wonderful disciple of mine. And that is Prahlada, who was tormented by his own father, Hiranyakashipu. And Yudhishthir, upon hearing the glories, actually Narad Muni chants many shlokas in the glory of Prahlad Maharaj, telling about describing his Vaishnava qualities, how tolerant he was, how undeviated he was, ahaituki apratihata. There was no interruption in his remembrance of the Lord, in spite of his father trying to create so much of disturbances in his life. And also he did not have any other materially motivated desire. Shuddha Bhakti, pure devotion, unalloyed pure devotion towards the Supreme Lord. So upon hearing this, Yudhishthira said, "Just now you described that Prahlada is so wonderful, he has so many wonderful qualities, and how come you are saying his own father tormented him? This seems to be very unusual." Parents are usually loving towards their children. They are not hateful. They may correct them, they may chastise them, but it is out of love. But it's not like they will get ready to kill their children. But here you are saying that his own father wanted to kill that too such a wonderful devotee boy. What was the reason? So this question is asked by Yudhishthir Maharaj to Narad Muni, and Narad Muni says, "O Maharaja Yudhishthir, come back with me to once upon a time when in the Vaikuntha Loka the Chatush Kumaras wanted to have the darshan of the Supreme Lord. As they were entering, there are 7 gates to go through. The Kumaras were allowed through the first 6 gates. But then when they wanted to enter the 7th gate, Jaya and Vijaya, the 2 doorkeepers at the 7th gate, forbade the Kumaras and said that you cannot disturb the Lord is resting. And the Kumaras were angered by this. Very unlikely actually, but this is all the divine pastime of the Lord. And then Kumaras cursed Jaya Vijaya and saying that because you are exhibiting the behavior like common people in Martya Loka, this is not the etiquette, this is not the behavior we expect in Vaikuntha Loka, so you don't deserve to be in Vaikuntha Loka. The Kumaras cursed Jaya Vijaya saying that we curse you that you take birth on earth, you have to leave Vaikuntha Loka. And the moment the Jaya Vijaya heard this curse from Kumaras, like you can see that shock on their face, immediately they realize what a mistake they have done. And the Lord gets to know this, being Paramatma, he knows everything. He rushes, and it is said that the Lord rushed in such speed that Garuda, even he could not match up with the speed with the Lord. He actually did not even wait for Jaya Vijaya to go inside. The Lord himself rushed to the gates. He forgot to even wear his footwear. He was so concerned for his devotees, Jaya Vijaya. And the Lord takes Jaya Vijaya's folly upon himself. He glorifies the Kumaras. He glorifies Brahmanas. But what is done, the Kumaras have uttered the curse. Now Jaya Vijaya have to take birth on this material planet, Martya Loka. And they happen to come in 3 births. They happen to take 3 births. In their first lifetime, they come as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu in Satya Yuga. And the same Jaya Vijaya happened to come in Treta Yuga as Ravana Kumbhakarna. And the same Jaya Vijaya happened to come as Shishupala and Dantavakra in Dwapara Yuga. But the Lord takes it upon himself. He says that, you are my children. Through this curse, it's like, as though one arm of the Lord has been cut off. That his dear devotees have to get separated from him. But the Lord assures Jaya Vijaya that not to fret, that I myself will come in every lifetime of yours and I will liberate you. And soon you will be back. But another higher level, the Acharyas say that all this happened simply because the Lord had a desire to enjoy Virya Rasa. And he cannot enjoy Virya Rasa in Vaikuntha because in Vaikuntha everybody is dearly, lovingly serving the Lord. He can't go and fight with them. But the Lord relishes all kinds of rasas and he wanted to relish Virya Rasa. The moment this thought even came in the Lord's heart, the devotees, the great devotees like Jaya Vijaya understand that, and in spite of them having to come and take birth as demons, envious of the Lord, but still they wanted to give that pleasure and fulfill the Lord's desire of wanting to relish Virya Rasa. So this is another higher level why all these things, seemingly unusual things happened. Of Jaya Vijaya stopping Kumaras and the Kumaras getting angry. So this Jaya and Vijaya are the ones who come as Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. which we briefly saw how Diti and Kashyapa in the third canto talking about the second Varaha avatars at an inappropriate time in the evening they united because Diti was persistent. And then she begot these two demoniac sons who would terrorize the entire universe when she realized she held on to her pregnancy for 100 years. Because even while they were in the womb, there were so many bad omens happening in the universe. But then when she delivered, Hiranyaksha went around terrorizing the whole universe to the extent that he even pushed Mother Earth into the Garbhodaka ocean, and this Raktavaraha Dev appears and so wonderfully, fiercely fights. If we just see normal pigs, they are not that beautiful. But when the Lord comes in any form, whether he comes in a fish form, whether he comes in a tortoise form, whether he comes in a boar form, whatever form he comes, the Lord is supremely beautiful. So even when he comes and takes birth in this so-called abominable species, that's the boar, still because the Lord is coming in that form, the Lord is supremely beautiful no matter in which form he comes. So Lord Varaha has already very ferociously fought with Hiranyaksha and killed Hiranyaksha, and he saved Mother Earth, and this news has reached Hiranyakashipu. And the moment Hiranyakashipu hears this and he gets to know that it is Vishnu who has come in this Mayavi form, that of Varaha form, and killed his brother, he wants to avenge the death of his brother. He immediately orders his associates, subordinates, to stop all the yagnic sacrifices. So the demigods don't get any kind of offerings, they get stopped. All the brahmanas needs to be tortured. No Veda Patana should happen. All the Vedic scriptural study, Vedic rituals had to be stopped. He started terrorizing mother cow, women, children. He stopped all kinds of worship. So he attacked from various different ways, and all his subordinates, as though they were just waiting for this instruction, because demons, this is what they like to do, and they were just nicely executing the orders of Hiranyakashipu. And meanwhile, Hiranyakashipu also tries to console his own mother Diti, who is lamenting for the loss of her son Hiranyaksha, and Hiranyaksha's wife Rushabhanu, she is also lamenting the loss of her husband. And at this point, if we see in Bhagavatam, for a moment we will be taken aback. Is this really Hiranyakashipu that is chanting all these beautiful shlokas? Because Hiranyakashipu there is talking about soul, the temporary nature of the body, the eternal nature of the soul, the transmigration. So he is telling his mother and sister-in-law, why are you lamenting for Hiranyaksha's body? He didn't die a cowardly death, he died a glorious death. He didn't run away from the enemy on a battlefield, he faced him face to face and he fought valiantly and then he died. That's okay, the karmic reactions are there. In fact, Hiranyakashipu, to console his mother and sister-in-law, is quoting yet another scriptural evidence where Yamaraj himself had consoled the wife of Suyagnya when Suyagna had passed away. Hiranyakashipu gives one more example how once upon a time there was a Kulinga bird, and this Kulinga bird's wife was shot by an arrow by a hunter, and this Kulinga bird, the she-bird, had died. And the he-bird, yes, he lost his wife, lamentation is natural, but he was lamenting for so long upon the loss of his wife that it gave an opportunity for the hunter to take shot at this male bird also and kill him as well. So Hiranyakashipu is saying it's quite natural that one laments for the loss of a near and dear one, but you need to understand the nature of the soul and the body, and you need to keep going through your life. You should overcome the lamentation and perfect your life. If not, just like the hunter shot the male bird also, Yamaraj, Yamadutas and time himself, Kala Rupa, he will hunt you down also and you will also be killed. So Hiranyakashipu, in this sense, he seems to know a lot of philosophy. He knows many factual truths. He's pretty much speaking what Krishna spoke in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita about soul from 2.11 to 2.30. But the problem with these demoniac people like Hiranyakashipu and Duryodhana, like Duryodhana also told his friends and relatives that it's not that I don't know what dharma is. Duryodhana says the problem is I can't follow it. So here Hiranyakashipu also, when we read in 7th canto, he knows many things. But the problem is he doesn't follow it. He does exact opposite. He considers Lord Vishnu as his enemy. And he wants to kill Lord Vishnu. So this is demoniac. So after consoling his mother and sister-in-law, now Hiranyakashipu is infuriated. He wants to avenge the death of his brother. So he wants to walk out and go, chase after Vishnu, find where this Mayavi is and kill him. And at this point, his guru, his spiritual master Shukracharya, stops Hiranyakashipu, tries to put a little bit of sense in him and say, oh Hiranyakashipu, yes, I understand that you want to kill Vishnu, but we know that this Vishnu is very, very Mayavi. He can come in any form, anytime, from anywhere and kill anybody. So you better prepare yourself properly and then you go and attack Vishnu. Hiranyakashipu thinks, yes, this is a sound advice. He says, but how do I prepare? What do I need to do? And then his guru Shukracharya says, you can go to Mandarachala Parvata, you please Lord Brahma, and you get a special boon from Brahma, you become immortal, and then you go and attack Vishnu after achieving the boon of immortality. And at this point, Hiranyakashipu goes off to Mandarachala Parvata, and he is going to try and perform intense tapasya. So what did he do? Did he become successful in his tapasya? And what other things are going to happen? And still that longing question of why he tormented his own son. And how the Lord has to take this never before seen form in order to kill Hiranyakashipu and protect Prahalada. So the remainder of this pastime and also some more interesting things coming up in Canto 7, all that and more tomorrow. So stay tuned. So tomorrow morning 6 a.m. Indian time we will regather again and we will continue to relish the pastime of Hiranyakashipu, the appearance of Lord Narasimha, the protection given to Prahlad Maharaj who is the Acharya of Smaranam. So we'll have to just wait for another day for that. But for now, I see that in the chat section, Manian is saying, wish to join Bhagavad Gita class. So Manian, it's happening at 5:30 Indian time. So you can join here right here on Aradhana YouTube channel. 5:30 Indian time is when it's going to happen. And anybody who has joined newly, if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so. And you need to hit on that bell icon. That way you get notifications when classes happen. Just like Manian is saying he wants to join Bhagavad Gita class. So you don't have to miss out on any of the classes. And you can also hit that like button if you are liking this series of Bhagavatam Katha that we are conducting. We will have many more such things happen in the future as well. So subscribe, like and also share with as many people as you can so they can also benefit. So I think that's it for today. So all glory is to Purushottama Masa, all glory is to Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam, all glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.